Hey, I'm Guy.
I'm John.
This is our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like.
Check out our podcast below in the description.
All right, John. Time to pick every NFL game on the slate. We'll do it at mybookie.ag, promo code HAM1. Looking at every game, we begin with the Raiders +5 at the Patriots. This is one of my favorite games of the week just to watch. What's your first reaction here if you're picking it?
Well, I think a lot of people are going to be riding the Raiders right now, given just how good they looked. And I would push back a little bit. The Patriots looked fucking awesome on the road against Russell Wilson. He had to pull some Houdini plays out of his ass. And Cam Newton is just going to be the best player. Like, you got two quarterbacks on this field. Derek was better than Drew Brees because Drew Brees just might not be that good anymore. Cam Newton's better than Derek Carr. So it's like they have the quarterback advantage and they have the coach advantage. I'm going Patriots -5. And listen, I'm someone to think the Raiders are going to make the playoffs. I think they're good. Like, I think they're a wild card 9-7 team. I think the Patriots, as you saw Belichick earlier this week, I think the Patriots get right. And the Raiders can play well and lose this game.
Yeah.
Like, Patriots are good.
I like the Patriots -5 here as well. One thing with Cam was that he had a lot of time to throw. Maybe the Raiders can pressure him a little better than Seattle did. And when he had time to throw, he made some incredible throws. The reason they ran him at the end of the game to win the game is because they ran him the whole game, and he got everything. He scored multiple touchdowns because one of them got called back, and he just scored on the next play running the ball. So they were really effective that way. I do think Ruggs will have a big game. Abrams going to have to make some plays on him, kind of the way that Jamal Adams did, chasing him down in the backfield, that sort of thing. But like you said, to beat the Patriots, Russell Wilson had to make multiple humongous throws. And that's more. Derek was really good. Derek plays the way he played against the Saints on Monday Night Football. They are going to the playoffs, and they could win a playoff game. But there's another level that Russ took it to beat New England, and I think that's a lot to ask. So I think the Raiders are averaging almost 7 yards a carry or something crazy like that. They're averaging a lot on the ground. All right. Next up, John, we've got the Rams game. Couldn't see it. Rams-Bills. Rams are +2.5. I'll start on this one. I think the Bills are really good, but they've played the Jets and the Dolphins. The Rams have played the Cowboys and the Eagles. I like Buffalo as a team, but I'm just my early season philosophy, and it started week 1, was if you're going to give me the Rams and points, I'm probably going to take it. And so that's what I'm going to do here.
Yeah, to me, Guy, the only reason this game starts at 3 is because it's at Buffalo. Well, who gives a shit? There are no fans. This game should be a pick'em. And right now, the Rams, through 2 games, are probably a team that's still somehow flying under the radar. They've been fucking awesome. Bills have some injuries on defense. I'm with you. I still like the Bills overall. I think they got a coach. Their quarterback's clearly better. But to me, from a gambling perspective, you got to take the Rams +2.5. I just think I watched some of their game versus the Eagles. They just look fantastic.
They do.
Guy. If they can run the ball, Jared Goff can dominate.
All right, next up, Houston and Pittsburgh. Houston in a must-win situation at 0-2, getting 4 points. They've played the toughest schedule. They play the Chiefs and the Ravens. That said, the Steelers it's a continuation of that. The Steelers are really good, fantastic on defense. We were on a sales call the other day. The guy thinks we were talking to might be the best defense in the league, and you agree. So what do you like here?
Yeah, to me, I just think this is a year where you get a team that I thought was just in the playoffs because they always are, the Houston Texans, and they just have one of those 4 or 5 win teams. Their defense is atrocious. J.J. Watt is old. Hopkins can't save them. They have a bunch of wide receivers who are always hurt.
Like Will Fuller?
And Hopkins
hurt.
I mean, Hopkins is gone, obviously, but Deshaun Watson, maybe he got a little overhyped, and I like Deshaun Watson, but you can't make plays when your 2 best wide receivers are always injured. You have an overpaid running back. I like the Steelers -4.
I'm going to take the Texans +4 only because of who they've played. They've played a really difficult schedule, and I'm hoping just with that pick that they can bounce back a little bit. Niners -4.5. We got them at -4. We both took the Niners, talked a lot about that, and so we'll move on from there. Tennessee -3 at Minnesota. Remember, Minnesota was +3 last week, and Indy was the pick.
And got their ass kicked.
Is it possible that Kevin Stefanski is a good offensive coordinator? Like, we've been talking so much about Minnesota's defense, which is a factor here, but maybe their offense isn't as good either without Stefanski calling plays. It's Kubiak. I don't love this game either way. I kind of feel like, can the Vikings really just be this shitty all the time? But I'll have to take the Titans here. You?
I got a text from a buddy in the NFL that simply said the Vikings can't cover a soul. And that was something we talked about week 1, right? They have all these new defensive backs. They can't cover anybody, guy. Now, the Titans aren't exactly, the 07 pass, but A.J. Brown's a good player. Tannehill's solid. Corey Davis has kind of emerged after years of just being a random guy. I would lean the Titans -3, but the Vikings have a bunch of injuries. The Cousins mojo. Here, one thing I got Cousins red flagged on, he benefit when his team's really good and his defense really good. They had swag, right? And Cousins just got to make some plays. Well, now Cousins like, hey man, can you be a $30 million quarterback? I want no part of Kirk Cousins playing hero ball. Is it out of realm possibility we look up at the end of the season, Cousins throws like 25 picks just because he's trying to carry the team? They're down in games. He has one of those like down Phillip Rivers year where you're like, holy shit, that was ugly. That's what I think might be coming for the Vikings.
It might be. You're right. Now, they have played 2 offenses that can score, though, the first 2 weeks of the season. But Tennessee, we agree.
Titans just had 33 points against the Jags. Like, they can score a little, too.
Washington and Cleveland. I like Cleveland here. Joe Burrow was the big story coming out of Thursday Night Football, but Baker played really well. Chase Young, the whole deal. But, Cleveland's defense a little better. We know they love to run the ball. Washington's not terrible against the run. I don't love taking Cleveland to cover 7 points, John, but I'll take him in this game.
Yeah, I think Washington got a little overvalued at that devastating loss by the Eagles. When Carson Wentz basically just handed him the game, right? I think we started acting like Dwayne Haskins was some star, and I'm just not ready to go there. I'm with you. I like the Browns. I would just hand the ball to Kareem Hunt. I'd hand the ball to Nick Chubb, and I would just shove it down their throat. And at the end of the day, guy, one thing I think we're going to continue to learn, Dwayne Haskins through 2 games, 56%, guy. 56%. So I think we hyped. Everyone's like, oh, Dwayne Haskins. It's like, yeah, the reason the Eagles lost because Carson Wentz was handing the ball to the other team. I just don't think Dwayne Haskins is any good. Big picture, don't even think he'll be the Washington quarterback in a year.
Cincinnati and Philly. Who you like?
Guy, I
minus
think
4.5.
The Eagles. Yeah, I think everyone is just shitting on Carson Wentz, and a lot of it's justified, right? He's throwing interception after interception, hitting guys in stride that are running the other way in the wrong color jersey. If you ever needed just a get-right game, you got Cincinnati's defense. We just saw Baker Mayfield, and that Cleveland Brown offense looked awesome, right? Running the ball right down their throat, throwing it on them with ease. I think this is just a get-right game for Carson Wentz. And you saw Doug's like taking bullets for him this week, getting into it with reporters. I expect the Eagles to win pretty comfortably. And I'm not even saying the Eagles are that good. I just think this is a get-right game for Wentz. I like the Eagles minus 4.5.
2 guys here who love Burrow, but we agree on this game. Eagles minus 4.5.
Their defense stinks, guy.
Had a huge lead on Washington. They had a shot last week too, and Carson screwed it. But maybe the Bengals aren't good enough to take advantage of it. So I'm with you here. Philly minus 4.5. Next up, the Falcons and the Bears. Falcons are getting 3.5. The Falcons are giving 3.5 points. I like Atlanta minus 3.5. You mentioned Dwayne Haskins' completion percentage. What'd you say it was?
56.
Okay, that's Trubisky-esque right now. They need Nick Foles, John. Don't let the 2-0 record fool you. They need Nick Foles in Chicago. I think this week will be a step towards proving it. Atlanta is just I'll say this for Atlanta. As bad as their 2 losses have been, especially last week to Dallas, think about them last year. Things were really bad. They didn't quit. They kept competing. I think this is a must-win game for them because they're 0-2. Their offense, Matt Ryan is second in the league in yards right now. Julio last week only had 2 catches because it turned out he was hurt. He was on my DraftKings. I was searching for him on every play. But they can score without him, so give me the Falcons minus 3.5.
Put a little respect. Trubisky's at 59%.
Okay.
2 things. I don't think you just – if that loss had happened week 1, you'd be like, listen, that loss sucked, but it's only week 1. We're pretty good. That happened in week 2 after they had just got the shit kicked out of them.
They've been doing it their whole lives.
Their coach might be coaching for his job. Like, I think if they lose this game, he might get fired after week 3. Are we sure the Bears aren't just solid? Their defense is really good. They still have a great pass rush.
They are
got
solid.
DBs that can cover. This is not the Cowboys and Seattle have terrible defensive backs. That ain't the case with the Bears. I'm biased on this one. I'll be the first to admit. I'm a Bears stan. I like the Bears plus 3.5. I've been betting them all year. They did just screw me last week. Here's what they're not good at. When they get like a 10-point lead, Trubisky's not like king of extending that to like 25-point lead. He's king of keeping you in the game, and all of a sudden the game comes down to the last play. So it's going to be tight, but I'm going to plus 3.5. Either 2-0, they will be 3-0.
All right. Jets, Colts. The Jets are horrid. Horrid. And they're getting worse by the day. Minus 11.5. You know, we thought about taking this game as our lock last week before week 2 games got played, and this line was at 8.5. It might be. I mean, it's 11.5 now. Maybe you said 12. Maybe it's 12.5 or 13 by the time Sunday rolls around.
I still don't even hate it at 11.
I would take the Colts, but yeah, this is hideous.
To me, the game is summed up by a quote of Adam Gase, and he said, "What type players are you going to use to replace your injured players?" He said, "Anyone with a pulse." I have no take on this game because I don't think we'll learn anything. Like, are the Colts good or bad? I really don't know. Nothing will change. If they win this game by 30, I won't think any differently of them. Like, this game means nothing in my perception of them. My perception of the Jets is just they couldn't be any shittier.
How about that minus 630 money line on the Colts?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Do you see any possible way the Jets win this game? Rivers throw the ball well. The Colts could score. I
guess I was going to say if Rivers throws 4 picks, but Herbert, Chargers minus 6.5 against the Panthers. You could look at this one of two ways, I think. Justin is spending a week as the starter. That's going to help him. Or last week he did not play an opponent that was ready for him. This week maybe the Panthers can get prepared for him. Twice I thought the Panthers would look like trash, and they kind of hung around. They hung around. Now Tampa dropped like 2 touchdowns. Scotty Miller killed me. But minus 6.5, Herbert with a week. I'll take the Chargers here. I don't love that pick, honestly.
Yeah, see, I do, guy. The talent disparity in this game. McCaffrey, I think a true high ankle sprain, right? He's out 4 to 6 weeks. He's gone for a while. Their defense is not good. The Chargers, one thing you'd say about them, right, is they do have a lot of firepower. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, animals. Hunter Henry, good player. Austin Eckler, good player.
They ran the ball against Kansas City. They controlled the game.
Is Josh Kelly on the Chargers?
Yeah, he had like 23 rush. He ran the ball 23 times. Had a couple catches.
Kind of like Josh Kelly.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa, or excuse me, Joey Bosa looks like he's pissed off that Nick Bosa became a good player. Now he might be extra pissed off because his brother also tore his ACL, so he's just out to represent for the Bosas. I think they go nuts in this game.
All right.
I like the Chargers minus 6.5.
Who we got next here? Lions, Cardinals. Lions plus 6. This was almost part of a parlay. You mentioned to me earlier, Kenny Golladay is back, so maybe Stafford will hit some more big plays. This team knows how to get a lead. They just don't know how to hold on to a lead. They've blown 2 double-digit leads in the first 2 weeks of the season. I'm gonna make a complete flip here from actually agreeing with your. Now, to your credit, it was not that you really think Detroit was going to win. You just thought it was value, and maybe it is. But I think Arizona is solid. Kyler is a nightmare, so I'm going to take the Cardinals minus 6 here, even though it feels like maybe that's not great value.
Yeah, I think the Lions' defense is just too slow. You watch them. The Bears came storming back. The Packers destroyed them. You just couldn't. Slow defense versus Kyler Murray. Hate that. One thing for Detroit, though, Kyler's thrown a pick in each game. He has only thrown 2 touchdowns, right? He's done a lot of he's averaging over 7.5 yards a carry, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Detroit, one thing they can do is pass the ball. One thing I noticed in that game was like, oh, is that Adrian Peterson? It's like he's on the Lions. He carries the ball. That's just I'm gonna go with the Lions plus 6.
Okay.
Don't feel great about it, but I'm gonna go with that.
Speeding along here, Bucks minus 6 at the Broncos. The Broncos have talent around their quarterback, but their quarterback is their quarterback. I'm taking the Bucks minus 6.
Yeah, I'll go Bucks minus 6 too. I think the Bucks just start getting their little mojo. You see, Bruce Arians took a shot at Gronk, said he can't run anymore. He's just a blocking tight end.
He should throw him the ball because I think they've only thrown the ball like 3 times that I've seen.
Well, I think Arians is saying he ain't getting open.
Well, there's a blocking tight end then. Dallas plus 5.5. Seattle. I would think Seattle is a pretty popular pick here, but what the hell? I think they can win the Super Bowl, so I'm taking them minus 5.5.
Yeah, to me, this game's a little weird. Seattle's now 2-0, feeling really good about themselves. The Cowboys are in one of those positions where they're feeling good about themselves because they won, but I would imagine they're getting their ass ripped all week, right? I mean, they were down huge for a reason. Their defense stunk. The Cowboys can throw the ball. Seattle can't cover. I would go Cowboys plus 5.5. I actually might put a little cash on this game. Cowboys plus 5.5.
Okay. Green Bay plus 3 at New Orleans. This one, again, feels too easy. I'll go with it, though. Aaron is significantly better than Drew Brees, so I'll take the Packers plus 3. I just watched the Raiders slice and dice this defense, too.
I'm with you. I would go Packers plus 3. I probably wouldn't bet it because it feels like, am I getting fooled here?
Yeah.
Am I going to look up and all of a sudden the Saints are up like 20-7? Something just feels weird about that game because to me it feels like a no-brainer. How are the Packers not minus 4, right?
It's very
It's not like
weird.
the Saints have fans.
Maybe, the Packers have been down in both of their first 2 games.
Yeah, and then they come storming back and beat the shit out of
I know.
people.
They play 3/4 of football. It's just unstoppable.
To me, I think this line's just off. Should be like a pick 'em, right?
I'm with you. It's not like there's fans.
No.
So